All right, let's just jump right in. We're all on social media, and the goal isn't just to post stuff, it's to get results. So today we're going to break down how you can master the art of storytelling to do exactly that. We're going to look at the 7 key traits of social media stories that actually, sell. The source material for this kicks off with a quote that I think is just brilliant. Don't just lead the horse to water, make it thirsty. I mean, how perfect is that? It really gets to the heart of the challenge. It's not enough to just show up in someone's feed.
No, it's about creating a real, genuine desire. Which leads to the big question, right? How do you actually do that? How do you make your audience thirsty for whatever it is you're offering, whether that's a product, a service, or even just an idea?
Well, look, the answer isn't some secret hack or, some magic formula you can just copy and paste. As our source material puts it, social media storytelling isn't about magic, it's about mastery. These are actual skills you can learn and apply. So let's get into it and break them down.
Okay, we're going to start with part 1, which covers the first 2 traits. And this is all about one thing: fitting in. It's about becoming a seamless part of the social media world instead of, fighting against it.
All right, trait number 1 is all about creating what we call native content. And the key insight here is so important. If your story doesn't match the platform, it dies on arrival. Seriously. It's like showing up to a party in a tuxedo when everyone else is in swim trunks. No matter how great your message is, it just won't land.
Just think about it, right? On LinkedIn, you're expecting professional deep dives, maybe some data-driven insights. But then you hop over to Instagram or TikTok and the whole vibe changes. It's all about aesthetic microstories and hitting that emotional note. You've got to speak the native language of whatever platform you're on if you want anyone to listen.
So what does this look like in the real world? Well, the source material gives this great example of a healthcare SaaS startup. Now, they didn't just blast the same generic message out everywhere. Nope. They actually took the time to tailor their content specifically for each platform they were on.
And what happened? A massive 62% boost in engagement. That's the power of going native. When your content feels like it actually belongs there, people will pay attention.
Okay, that brings us to the second trait, which honestly builds right on top of the first one. Don't interrupt. The key here is to be the experience, not some annoying distraction from it. I mean, think about why you open Instagram or TikTok. It's for connection, for entertainment, maybe for a little inspiration. It's not to get bombarded with ads. So here's a really simple rule of thumb you can use for pretty much everything you post. If your content doesn't entertain, inform, or inspire, then it's probably just an interruption. And what do we do with interruptions? We scroll right past them. Every single time.
All right, so once you've figured out how to fit in, the next big step is to build trust. And that brings us right into part 2, which covers traits 3, 4, and 5.
Trait number 3 is about having no constant demands. The idea here is so simple, but wow, it gets ignored all the time. Give before you ask. If all you're doing is shouting, buy now or sign up, you're going to kill that relationship before it even has a chance to start.
The perfect way to think about this is the jab, jab, hook model. Your jabs are all about giving value. A funny post, a useful tip, an inspiring story, you're building up goodwill. You jab again, and then, once you provided all that value, you can throw the hook. That's your call to action. By then, you've actually earned the right to ask for something.
Okay, next up, trait number 4. Leverage pop culture. And you might be wondering why. Well, it's because culture builds trust. Just think about it. When a brand uses a popular meme format or references a TV show everyone is watching, they're sending a subtle but powerful signal. They're saying, hey, I get you. We're part of the same tribe.
And that leads us perfectly into trait number 5, micro-content. I mean, we all live in a world of super fast, endlessly scrolling feeds, right? Small bites win. The whole strategy is to deliver these tiny, snackable nuggets of value. A quick tip, a powerful quote, a surprising stat that are super easy to consume and even easier to share. All right, we're on to our final section, part 3, stay smart. These last 2 traits are really about playing the long game. It's about maintaining your brand's integrity while being smart enough to adapt and evolve. So, trait number 6 is being consistent and self-aware. You have to remember, every single post is your brand speaking. Your tone of voice, your visuals, your core message, all of it needs to be consistent. If it's all over the place, you start to erode that trust you've worked so hard to build. And finally, trait number 7, and this one is absolutely critical. data-driven storytelling. Look, great storytelling isn't static. It's not a one-and-done thing. It has to evolve with your audience. True mastery means paying super close attention to what the data is telling you about what's working and what's not.
So what does that actually look like? It means you're analyzing everything. Your click-through rates, the comments, the saves, the shares. You look for what really moves people on an emotional level, and you double down on that. And, just as importantly, you've got to be ready to pivot, and pivot quickly, when a piece of content just flops.
Okay, so let's put this all together. We've just walked through 7 different traits, but here's the thing. They don't exist in a vacuum. They all combine to form what we can call the master's formula.
So what's the final checklist? Your story needs to be native to the platform, it needs to be non-interruptive to the user, you have to be generous with value and cultural in your references. Use micro-content, be consistent with your brand, and of course, be data-driven in how you adapt.
And this quote from the source material just nails it. Emotion wins, but data tells you which emotion. That is the beautiful balance right there. It's the art and the science of great social media. You absolutely need both to succeed.
And that right there, that's the formula. That is how you master storytelling on social media. It's how you stop just leading the horse to water, and instead, you actually make it thirsty.
So I'll leave you with this one question to really think about for your own brand, for your own content. Is your story a welcoming experience, or is it just an interruption?